spacecrafts to reach the space station. So sometimes there's a little bit packed in, and it's always really cool to see them, either playing with their food. Sometimes you'll see them floating the fruit in the air. It's pretty neat.
We've got another question. How long will the docking process take? That's a really good question, because that's coming up here later this evening. How long exactly does this take? It is a very specific process. It does take a few hours. Can you give us more details, Leah?
Yeah, so after we complete those 5 major burns, we move into we're out of the rendezvous period, we move into the approach initiation period. And so we'll do an approach initiation burn, and we'll be going through a few checkpoints during that time. And so once we reach that last checkpoint, which is waypoint 2, we'll only be 20 meters away from the space station. And these are all very precise movements, as you have to be when you're maneuvering a spacecraft, but especially around another spacecraft. And so from the time the spacecraft reaches waypoint 2 until the time it docks with the International Space Station, that takes about 5 minutes. And once it docks, it will first enter a phase called soft capture, and it will the soft capture ring will retract and bring the vehicle in so that the hooks can drive and give it that hard capture hold. That process itself takes under 15 minutes, about 13 we're looking at, and then afterward we'll have a series of leak checks. We'll have to pressurize the vestibule, which is the area between the hatches, and then the crew will also be doffing their suits. So there's a lot to step through, and from hard dock, those hooks driving, until hatch opening, that takes a couple of hours. So we'll be around for all of that tonight as well.
Yeah, very exciting. And it's a lot of maneuvers, but again, Dragon is autonomous, so the crew members just have to, stay on board and wait till they finally dock.
And this question coming from Kyle: has there ever been anyone alone on the space station? If so, how long? That would be so lonely.
I know.
And I'm glad to say that no one has ever been alone on the International Space Station. The fewest number of people we've had on station is 2. And now we have 3, and we'll be welcoming 4 more today, so we'll have a crew of 7.
Got another question. How do the astronauts sleep in the ISS, and do they have beds?
That's fun. That's a fun question, because it's not really like a bed like we think of on Earth. You can't really lay down without gravity. And so what they do have are crew quarters, and they're little closet-sized almost spaces where the astronauts can tack up a sleeping bag, and they sleep kind of on the wall. They have the option to put their arms, restrain their arms if they would like. Otherwise, your arms kind of float up in front of you. You might look a little bit like a zombie, but some of them can strap their arms down if they like, and they sleep in that sleeping bag, essentially.
Wow, that must be such an interesting feeling. Like, you're very used to, laying down and relaxing your body, but there's no gravity, so they're kind of just floating and just sleeping with their, almost standing up and sleeping with their eyes closed.
I know. And from some of them, I've heard it's the best sleep that they've ever had.
Really?
I think it would take me some getting used to, though, but...
So, to get good sleep, become an astronaut and go to space.
This question: what's the temperature inside Crew Dragon, and can the astronauts adjust it? And yes, we've actually been listening to them discussing that for the past several hours.
Yeah, they've been checking in with the core and having the core adjust the temperature here and there through their sleep period, through when they're actually active and moving around a little bit. They're able to change that temperature inside of the cabin.
And last we heard, it was about 75 degrees Fahrenheit inside the cabin.
Is it true that Bob Behnken's wife is going to be able to go to space on the Crew 2 mission next spring? And the answer to that is yes.
Yes, that is true. Megan MacArthur is an astronaut and will be flying next spring on Crew 2. Very interesting is that she'll also be flying on the same spacecraft as Bob Behnken did. He flew on Crew Dragon Endeavour on the DM2 mission, and that vehicle is now being refurbished, and it will be flown as Crew 2. So I'm not sure what the seating arrangement is yet, but that would be pretty cool if she was in his seat as well. We'll have to stand by and see.
That's actually really amazing that both of them are astronauts. Both of them will share the same vehicle. Like, how many times does that ever happen? That's
Absolutely,
amazing.
and in such a close time period, and with a brand new vehicle.
Right.
You know, they both had former experience with space shuttles, but for them both to get to fly on Crew Dragon as well in such a short time period, I know that has to be exciting.
So cool. For those of you watching online on YouTube, take a look at the description below the video. There you'll find the new link for our Crew 1 rendezvous and docking phase. We'll be continuing live coverage at this new location shortly.
And if you're watching on NASA TV, don't go anywhere, because we are still going to be here and we are still standing by, listening for information and sharing everything we know with you. So you won't notice a thing at all if you're watching on NASA TV, and our coverage will continue.
For those of you watching online on YouTube, take a look at the description below the video. There you'll find the new link for our Crew 1 rendezvous and docking phase. We'll be continuing live coverage at that new location shortly.
And if you're watching on NASA TV, you won't notice a thing. So coverage will continue. Stay right there. And if you're watching on YouTube, click that link. We'll be right back.